Social skills lessons are designed to strengthen social interaction and communication skills. And these skills are typically challenging for our learners. So, how can we approach teaching social skills to effectively target their social communication goals? Hi, I'm Shira.
And I'm Shayna. We're behavior analysts who create weekly content about how to teach children with autism so that they make real progress. And we create shareable resources to make your job just a little easier. Today's topic is all about social skills approaches. And if you want more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated on new video releases.
So, social skills is, a bit of a point of contention in our house also, because I live with someone who is very social and loves to go out and hang out with friends. He can walk into a crowded room and know exactly what to do and love meeting people. And I'm the type of person who dreads that. If you put me in a crowded room, I don't know what to do with myself. It feels overwhelming. I never know what to say. I hate making small talk. And he wants me to come places with him, and I absolutely hate it. And so we thought this was a good conversation as to do I do it anyway? How much are social skills required? How much can you opt out? How much would it be helpful for me for someone to tell me exactly what to do? And sometimes he does that. Sometimes he'll pry me and say, here's who you should talk to. Here's what you should say. This is what you're doing. And I find that helpful. But social skills is really a continuum. It's a comfort level, and it's a really worthwhile topic to learn more about.
Shira and I had a full discussion before this podcast started about what social skills are, because social skills are so varied. And, I'm more of an extrovert. I'm like, well, yeah, everyone needs social skills. And she's more of an introvert and said, do they really does it really matter if someone doesn't want to go out on a Friday night? It doesn't matter. So what are social skills? What needs to be taught? What should we just say? That's their personality. Don't teach that. And what should we be doing to open this conversation to others?
And so many things fall into this category. When we talk about social skills, somehow it's everything from greetings and turn taking and playing all the way through to, community outings and some, going to a restaurant and street safety. And somehow that's all social skills. And there really is no one way to teach it. There is no social skills curriculum that's going to be comprehensive enough that you pull out that book and your learners are going to have stellar social skills. Social skills is a really, really broad topic. And the best way that I think of in terms of using social skills is, are there skills that are required that would help our learners move closer to their values? In order to do that, we have to know what our learners' values are. So one of the ways that I often will use social skills lessons or approach teaching social skills is starting with a value system. So this is similar to ACT talks a lot about this. I find it most effective to talk with students and find out what are their values. And will learning some of these skills help bring you closer to your values? If making friends is not one of your values, or going out for dinner is not one of your values, then we don't need to learn how to do that, because it's not going to bring you closer to your value. But if it is one of your values, then we may have to push through a little bit of discomfort to get you comfortable in those environments, because it's going to increase your quality of life.
So sometimes I'll be having conversations with parents in terms of, what are your goals for your kids? And, parents will say, I just want my child to have a friend, or I really want them to, interact with such and such, or I really want them to just hug my mother. So these are also goals, and it's nice to have that caregiver input. But what happens when the caregiver input differs from what the client's values are? And how do you mediate that? So, the caregiver might say, I just want my kid to have a friend. And, the child saying, I don't want friends. I don't, or even from a nonverbal perspective, the child says, or doesn't display any type of social desire whatsoever. That is not the right time to go in and teach. At some point in time, you're going to have to talk to that caregiver and say, let's modify those goals, or let's put those goals on hold and teach something else right now. And until we have assent from your child, we can't be teaching some of these goals. So like Shira said, the best thing to do if you've got somebody who, can speak, doing something like an ACT values matrix to talk about, well, what are your goals? What would you like to do? What are your values related to friendships? What are your values related to this social activity or that social activity? And putting things in place that way. If you've got students who can't talk, looking and seeing what their physical actions are showing you, do they have the desire to be with people, or do they have the desire to be by themselves? And we can really go on that and really use our students as our compass in terms of what are the social skills curriculums that we need to teach.
And it's really important with this topic to listen to autistic voices. And we've been learning more over the last few years in how much pressure and stress it can be on the learner to have these social expectations. So when we talk about teaching social skills, it is by no means an effort to make somebody with an autistic brain act typical or seem neurotypical. That is not the definition of social skills. Social skills would be skills that fall under the category of socialization that may help an individual move closer to their values. So sometimes social skills are required in order to even be safe in the community. In order to, if they have an interaction with a police officer, or they need to go to a doctor's office or something like that, we can work with our learners in when it might be beneficial to them to display these kind of social skills, or these skills might help them be safe. Even though it doesn't seem comfortable, it may be something that they agree with us in needing to learn these skills because it keeps them safe. And that's really important. But that could be a choice with the learner, with the parents, with the individual. And it's not a complete effort to make them seem neurotypical.
I think the biggest thing is really asking them, like we've talked about before, what are your values, right? So if someone wants to make friends, then great. We can teach you how to make friends. But if someone doesn't want to make friends, I'm not teaching you to make sure that you're, trying to have a conversation with this person. However, like Shira said, there are specific times where it's very important to have a conversation. So even if your value isn't that you want to make friends, in specific situations, it's important that you at least know how to have a conversation. So that can come up when discussing values and talking to, our learners about, well, in these situations, it's important to do these types of things. And, we talk about something called masking. And masking is really about, well, in specific situations, like talking to a police officer or in a job interview, you do need to learn how to face specific people and smile and do the quote unquote neurotypical things, because that's what's appropriate for that specific situation, and they'll get you to your end goal and to your end values faster. So, we may want to teach someone that they might need to mask just to show interest in someone else, and then, then they can, not mask in these other situations.
And I think the important part is that it should always be a safe place. So if we are going to target some sort of social skills, there's a number of different ways to do it. It could be that we're doing social skills where kids just feel safe and they hang out and they're able to play video games with their friends, and they're learning in that environment that this is fun and friends are meaningful. There are some other types of lessons that if we were teaching social skills, we may do it in a way that just lays out the rules very clearly. So if you are going to approach somebody to invite them to play with you, here's how you would do it. And this is because the learner wants to learn this, and it's important to them to approach those friends and have play dates. Another one of the very common ways that we would teach social skills is something called BST, so behavioral skills training. We would give the instruction as to why it's important. So maybe you need to be able to go on a job interview because you want to get a job. So it's really important for you to be able to, dress a certain way or present yourself a certain way. And then we would model it for them. So we'd practice it and then we'd give them feedback. So there's a lot of role play, rehearsal, feedback with a specific skill that is beneficial to them. And then we would always want that feedback to include something positive, and then continue to practice that until they're comfortable with it.
Really, like Shira said, coming up with fun and creative ways to get your learners socializing is a really great way to do it, so that they're feeling safe, they're feeling comfortable. Games are really great. Video, I use a lot of video and a lot of BST in the video, but lots and lots of positive feedback, and then one area for improvement. Crafts, I call it STEAM. I think schools call it that too, where, kids are interacting in a group. So it's, science, technology, engineering, arts, math, all combined, and, doing some type of group project so that they can get to an end goal. So circle time can also be considered as social skills as well.
So deciding when these social skills are important is really up to the learner. You can check out our other podcast episode on how to teach social skills using ACT. I'd recommend using that approach, starting with their values and then working backwards and giving them some committed actions as to, well, if this is your value, here are some actions that you can take. And then the data collection piece might be on the individual to record, amounts of times that I greeted somebody that I didn't know. Or you could take data on their reporting back to you on their committed action or what you've seen them doing in the committed action. It could be really easy yes, no, rating scale, or anything like that.
So check out some other videos that we have as well. Teaching social skills is one video, like Cher mentioned, ACT is another video as well.
For more information on teaching social skills, click the link on or around this video or in the description to claim your free ACT Values Matrix. We also encourage you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos, and leave a like and comment below if you have further questions.